Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montavilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Janome HD-3000. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the machine. To start out with, this is where you plug in your foot control. It also has the power cord in the same plug. And right near that is your on-off switch. Over here you have a balance dial. Now most of the time you don't need it, but there are occasions where you're sewing a particular type of fabric where you've got a decorative stitch and maybe it's a little bit stretched out or a little bit compressed. You can change that using the balance dial. This is your stitch selector knob. Now when you move this, it changes this little red marker here under to where the stitch is that you are going to be doing. Up here is the hand wheel. Now, hand wheel is so you can hand walk stitches if you want to, like this, or when you're done sewing, you can move your hand wheel a little bit to complete your stitch. This is the cover with all the different stitches. This is the stitch application, the kind of stitch you would use for that application, and the foot you'd use, and other information there. So it's really a nice thing to have. Back here we have the handle, and that's a nice sturdy handle for lifting your machine. Inside here we have the Bobbin Winder spindle. We also have places to put the different feet, and they're actually labeled so you can put your feet and keep them nice and organized right there. This is the spool pin that you put your thread on. Over here we have the thread tension dial, and that regulates how tightly or loosely your thread goes, and usually we leave it right there on 4. This is a guide for winding your bobbin. This is a guide for both threading and bobbin winding. I'll explain that in a different video. Over here we have the take-up lever, and that's the part on the sewing machine that goes up and down and pulls the thread up and down. Here we have the presser foot pressure dial. Now most of the time we're going to leave it right here on 3, that little indicator's right down there. But if you have very stretchy material that doesn't have good stretch recovery, you may want to have it at a lower presser foot pressure. And that's how tightly this pushes against your fabric as you're sewing. Then over here on the side we have a thread cutter. So once you're done sewing, you can cut your thread just like that. And of course we have the foot and the needle right there. This has a quick change foot, so if you push this little button in the back, your foot can come off and you can change it to a different foot. You can put this right up here. Then this is the needle threader. Really nice feature to have on your machine, makes threading your needle much easier. Behind that is the buttonhole lever. So if you're going to do a buttonhole, you would pull this down, and again, I can show that to you on a different video, but this is the buttonhole lever right there. Then in back here, there's a little switch that you can push that to the right, and it drops the feed dogs. And that would be for like if you're doing thread painting or free motion quilting, things like that. To get it to come back up, just push that back to the left and take one complete stitch. And that brings up the foot here, brings up the feed dogs. And then to put the foot back on, we match up the hole in the presser foot with the hole in the needle plate, snap that on like that. Then we have the bobbin area right here. And then this is a storage tray. It's a nice big area, and you can put bigger things like your screwdriver or your buttonhole foot right there. This lifts up. You lift it straight up, and now you have a free arm. And the free arm is great for doing like jeans hems or things like that, where you're sewing in the round. And put that on, you just put this right back on like that. Then over here we have the stitch width. Now for a straight stitch, it's not going to make it wider, it just moves your needle. So you move it over to 6, and it moves your needle over to the left-hand side. Now if you look really carefully right here, you can see there's a little oval with a dot in it. So at 6, the needle is to the left, which means that that little dot's to the left. And here, the needle's in the center. So for most straight sewing, you want to have the indicator, that's that line right there on 0. This is your stitch length. So for most regular sewing, you want the indicator right here on 2.5, or between 2 and 3. If you're doing basting, you want to have a longer stitch length, push it all the way over to 4. If you're doing buttonholes, you want to have this down here, right in the buttonhole area. And I'm going to put that right back here in the middle. Now this is your reverse button. So when you push this and hold it, it's going to sew in reverse and give you that locked stitch at the beginning and the end of your seam. So that's the Janome HD-3000. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you have, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. We also have lots of other videos on this machine and on other machines here at Montavilla Sewing Center. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.